fresh out the box.
Fresh California plums.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Fresh Film Fridays, the podcast where two dudes talk about the newest streaming movies or movies in theaters and discuss them. Today we're talking about the brand new The Matrix Resurrections, which was released December 22nd on HBO MAX and was directed by Lana Wachowski. I'm your co-host, Alec.
Oh, I'm Eric. Just kidding, it's Justin. You're like, which was released 12 hours ago on HBO Max. It was 3 a.m. Eastern, so yeah, I don't know, whatever.
No. I was awake when it came out, and I did not watch it. I was way too tired.
If it got released at 12 a.m., I would have just powered through it, but I was like, I'm not just going to stay up till like 6 a.m.
Right, and you'd just be so tired and you wouldn't, I mean, it's hard to enjoy something that late anyways. This is definitely the freshest I've ever watched a movie for this podcast. I mean, we did Halloween Kills, which was great too, but that one came out a couple days later. This one, wow, fresh.
Would you say it's the freshest fresh film Friday?
I mean, this is by far the freshest. It's not even a Friday, and that's how fresh it is. It came out before Friday.
That's true. Yeah,
it's pretty fucking fresh, man.
So I broke one of my rules, which I don't ever follow. So I mean, it's just normal, I guess. I looked at reviews. Prior, no spoilers.
Prior,
but, as it was loading up, I was like, let's see what people say, and people were not happy. I figured as much, just because I don't know. People are going to compare it to the first one, and it's not the first one.
I feel like we've been down this road before. Like, people didn't think it was as good as the first one. I'm like, well, if you didn't like the second or third one, I don't know. You probably aren't going to like this one either.
True. It's definitely better than sequels I've seen before. Like, not pointing anything out, cough, Star Wars. So I am happy that it was released.
I haven't read anybody's reviews online, but initial thing, dude, I liked it. I don't think it's a masterpiece. I don't think it's the best movie of the year, but for 20 years outside of the third one, between that one and this one, I liked it. First reaction, I liked it.
Yeah, let me just read this review real quick. And this is from the New York Post, but like IMDb people kind of give it like a meh. It's like, it's good, but like I've seen this before. It feels like a remake, which it kind of was meant to be like a remake in a sense. But it said, with Lana Wachowski returning to direct, we at least hope for visual dazzlement and boundless creativity of the fight scenes that made the first two films great. Sorry guys, the fourth flick looks dollar store cheap, and during the battles you'll wish you were watching John Wick. This one hit hard, this part. After two lousy sequels, here's a pitch for Warner Brothers: The Matrix retirement. What kind of asshole wrote that? The Matrix retirement.
It's like, what does that guy do? He's like, listen, I work at a Carvel's ice cream place. I'm an assistant manager, but I know better than these guys. I know better than Lana Wachowski. Now, I just got to say, man, like, this is not like comparable to the other ones. I don't think. I think this is a really good idea for a sequel, went in a different way. And when people say it's comparable to other things, what is this comparable to?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. I was happy with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's like almost making fun of sequels and reboots and stuff like that. I mean, it's very meta. We'll put it that way. Like, and I like that. Dude, I don't know. Like, I mean, I don't remember everything because I just watched it, like 2 hours ago. But all right. Let's just talk about like the movie, I guess, starting from the beginning then. So basically starts off kind of like a retread of the first one, where we get a female and male voice talking as we basically see the opening scene of the original Matrix happening again, but with different actors. Mm-hmm. So I first thought, I was like, are they making a movie about the Matrix? That was the first thing that went through my head. Almost like Scream kind of did something like that, where they did like a meta murder movie in the movie. What did you think when you first saw that?
I really liked how they did the flashbacks to like the first and second one, where it showed like the original actors. I thought it was cool how like Bugs and their ship guy were like traveling through different codes within the Matrix to like try and find the correct scene for like the actual Neo and Trinity. And like they went to like the wrong section and it was like a different Trinity who died in that version. I thought that was cool.
So yeah, that whole idea. So basically Thomas Anderson he's not aware of the Matrix, right? He doesn't remember it.
Well, he doesn't, because you find out at the end they brought him back to life, and they re-put him back into the Matrix, and they were just feeding him the blue pill like constantly so that his like memories would be repressed. So like it's not that he like it still happened. It's still the same lifetime.
Right,
He
right.
just doesn't remember it.
Right. Okay. So basically, yeah, where the third one ends, Neo stops Smith and Trinity and Neo die. Then this new program played by Neil Patrick Harris basically resurrects them and uses their energy to power this new Matrix because of their connection or whatever. Their love connection is so strong. They only need two people as opposed to millions or whatever. But then Neo has programs like Bugs and the new Morpheus and Sequoia or whatever, all of them aware of what's going on and trying to get Neo out of this new Matrix.
Yeah, I think I need to watch it again this weekend
Yeah, yeah,
because there was a lot going on.
right.
But I think Neil Patrick Harris, who is known as the analyst,
Mm-hmm.
is supposed to be like the new version of the architect,
Mm,
I think. But
I don't
anyway,
know.
it was like his idea because he said something about like the prior person was all about math and formulas, which I think was the architect.
Right, right.
So basically, this new version, who the Matrix created, Neil Patrick Harris, who kind of like his role was to keep Neo like suppressed in the fake world,
Mm-hmm.
and I thought it was super cool how he had blue glasses. I
Oh
thought that
yeah,
was cool.
yeah.
Neil Patrick Harris did a good job, and a lot of people were shitting on him. I read reviews prior, like he's a comedian. Like, what's he doing here?
What?
Like he was fine. He was fine,
Yeah.
and he's in this world. Like he somehow figured it out that if you put Neo and Trinity close together, they somehow create enough power that it like gives the Matrix like I don't know, like a ton of energy or something.
Right. But they can't be like in love like they used to be. They just need to be within the same, like, I don't know, near each
Yeah.
other.
He
Yeah.
said not too close, but not too far. Because if it was too close, they could like create enough power to bust out. But if it was too
Right.
far away, then not enough power to help the Matrix.
And dude, that's a pretty fucking cool idea. Like basically they do survive the Matrix. Dude, you know what my favorite part of this entire movie was, man? Was that the Sentinels and the humans are working together now because of Neo.
Mhm.
That I thought was a really cool idea to take it in.
Yeah, I mean, basically, it sounded like the alliance worked from the third one. It's been 60 years, and taking off of the third one. So, like, Neo said, hey, if you don't kill Zion and you don't kill off all the humans and essentially reset the Matrix again, like, I will kill Smith for you because the Matrix knew Smith was going to eventually take over the Matrix somehow.
Yeah.
And they formed this alliance. And then instead of just letting Neo die, I guess they figured out like, hey, we can actually generate like a ton of power. Might as well just keep him in this tube thing. They had to plug him back into the Matrix, but they were like, we don't want him to be conscious because if he's conscious again, like he may try and stop the Matrix. So let's just like force feed him these blue pills.
Right. And I think it's interesting though because it seems like when Neo went and confronted the Deus Ex Machina machine or whatever at the end of the third one, it seems like the Sentinels were kind of having their own like I don't know, like internal crisis about what they're doing to humans or something like that. Like I think that's what happened. Like they became like the AI got feelings basically when they saw Neo like sacrifice himself for all of Zion. They're like, wait, like he's willing to do this? And then that like creates some sort of like the robots go to war with each themselves because of that shit.
Mhm.
Like that's crazy that Neo kind of did that.
Yeah. I liked how they did it. I would have preferred personally some minor differences.
Me too.
That maybe that was just me. I don't understand the whole Agent Smith. They took him over and he's now Morpheus, but he's
Mm,
but he's not the same Morpheus because
I did, yeah.
he's now a Matrix Morpheus, like he's a code.
Dude, I did not like what they did with Morpheus.
I I would have preferred this personally, and maybe other people wouldn't see this way. I would have preferred they did everything normal, leave Morpheus out of it. Like no one knows what happened to Morpheus. There was no like that statue built of him in Zion or whatever. I would have liked it where, and it would have been a perfect segue to the second one, where like they did everything they had to do at the end of the movie. The last 5 minutes, Neo and Trinity are like walking in to get another cup of coffee or something, like how they always do in the beginning,
Mm,
and like in the back they notice like a janitor and it zooms in and it's Lawrence Fishburne.
hmm.
And like it would have just ended there and they would have been like, oh shit, like they forced him in the
Oh,
Matrix this whole time, right? But technically
yeah.
he'd be like 90 years old, so I don't know.
Well, yeah. I mean, they could have figured out a different way because, like, either have him look like maybe he's dead, and then they used him as a program, and then he just looks like I just need to know why didn't Lawrence Fishburne wanna come back? 'Cause, like, it
I don't know that
kinda fucks it all up.
I don't wanna believe that the Wachowskis reached out to him and Lawrence was like, "No,"
I
because
know.
I wanna believe Lawrence loved his role in Morpheus, but maybe they just didn't ask him, like, they were like, "Your character is just it's done."
Nah, I don't know, man. Nothing against the actor that played him, like, he did a fine job, but I just don't like the direction they took the character. I was like, "What is he then?" So he's a combination of Agent Smith, why? And these are things like we were asking these questions. I'm sure if I watch it 2 or 3 times, I'd be like, "Okay." But yeah, man, that and also Agent Smith, like, why is he back? I like him, but why what happened? I thought he fucking died.
I mean, I guess the same concept as Neo, like, thought he died.
But Neo's a human, and, Smith is a program that got destroyed after Deus Ex Machina destroyed him with Neo.
I don't know. I mean,
So
like he said himself, like, he's Agent Smith, but he's a different one.
come
I don't
on.
know. I don't know. I don't know.
I did notice he didn't call him Mr. Anderson a bunch. He's like, "Thomas." I was like,
The
"Hmm,
one of my biggest gripes was, and this is the problem, which is why I wish they didn't do the whole Morpheus Agent Smith thing in the current one, is because people are going to constantly compare them to the originals, which
yeah,
isn't fair. Like it's not fair to them. You know, they have to represent these older actors because it's just people are going to compare them. And I wish instead of him being exactly Agent Smith, he was like, I'm not Agent Smith, but like Agent Smith's like code like came off into me and like I'm part him, but not him
or
type of
what if
thing.
he became, like, the one for programs? Like, he was the one like, Neo or, Smith was, like, the Neo to the programs, and he
Yeah.
inspired other programs to go rogue and stuff like that."
Yeah, that'd be cool too. I don't think they should have done it how they did it.
Right, exactly. Because yeah, you're 100% right. They're making you all you're doing is being like, "He's not as good as Hugo Weaving." I mean, he did a great job, but he's not as good as Hugo Weaving, like, sort of
Yeah,
thing, and
when he screamed Mr. Anderson, I was like, oh no.
I know. It seemed a little
No.
cheesy when like, and just the way Morpheus was acting, it just didn't feel like Morpheus. It felt very like, "Look at me, like, I'm like, look at my flashy outfits." Like, he wasn't serious, it didn't feel like.
Yeah, they put like a 2021 spin on it, and then to top it off, like they didn't even give Morpheus his like double monocle sunglasses, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is not him.
I know, it was weird, and yeah, so, I'm not saying it has to be the same people, but yeah. Speaking of, what did you think of, The Frenchman?
I thought it was awesome that they brought the
Yeah,
Frenchman back. He's like crazy now, and he's all just like, I had everything.
yeah,
That fight scene was sick, where they had like that little battle.
right, and they're more exiles, I loved that, like, they're like, "Oh, shit," so they're carried over more people to the new Matrix, like, that's so sick.
Yeah. My favorite fight scene was the one in the I think it was a coffee shop where like all the SWAT was there and then Agent Smith like went to help them, but like
Mm,
he didn't really help them, he like indirectly helped them because he's also an enemy of Neil Patrick Harris's guy.
right, it's almost like Vegeta, he's like, "No one's gonna kill Kakarot but me," like, sort of thing.
Yeah, speaking of which, he was whooping Neo's ass. Like either this Agent Smith was way stronger or like Neo's rusty.
I think Neo's rusty. Yeah, it's fine. I mean, he doesn't remember how to fly or anything, which I was also kinda like, "Why doesn't he remember?"
Yeah, he
Uh,
doesn't remember how to fly, but he can somehow stop like he can like force push, which he couldn't do in the
right.
others.
Yeah, okay, a couple questions. So we got Bug, she's basically, like, one of the new protagonists, like, Bugs Bunny, Follow the Rabbit, alright, we got it. Why does she have blue hair?
I don't know. Why can't she have blue hair?
Because that implies that she's, like, part of the suppressors, like, she's one of the people that's, like, the blue pill, like, "We wanna keep you in the dark." You think she'd have red hair.
Ooh, uh, I want to say that was just poor planning on like make on the makeup department because now that you mention that, that's pretty fucking
Dude,
stupid.
that was, like, the worst color they could have chosen. Like, any other color would have been better than blue, because blue is literally, like, Neil Patrick
Mm,
Harris's glasses, the pill that makes you not remember, like,
they should have done red. They should have given her red
the
hair.
fuck were they thinking? Yeah, maybe I don't know. Again, I need to see it again, but yeah, that was dumb. Also, you kinda brought this up in the first one. Why does she have a British accent?
Who?
Bug. Zion's accent is not like a British accent. Nobody else has that accent but her.
Oh,
So, it's like,
especially
why
if they're like human born. Well, I don't know if she was human born though, because it gave a flashback of the first one where she was like squeegeeing the window, which means she was technically in the Matrix.
Sure, but she was living in San Francisco where this movie takes place, so she should have an
Maybe she was programmed and born in England and then, like, came over and got her visa to work, but
as a
Swede
window washer.
as a window she was like, "All I want to be is a window washer," and then came over, and then they unplugged her, and she was like they were like, "Why do you have, like, a
Oi.
weird" Oh.
They're like, "You're the only person in the entire universe that has an accent." It's like, "Yeah." It's like, okay." It's like, don't you find that strange? It seems like Zion, I mean, the accent is American because everybody there speaks with an American accent except for Bug.
Yeah,
Uh,
okay, that's fair. I did like how the programs who were, like, allied to the humans, like, kinda came over in that weird, like, form, you know what I'm talking about?
what do you mean?
Like, they came over in, like, that metal form to, like, live in the human world.
Oh, yeah. Like, the bird one?
Yeah,
Like, the
yeah.
one yeah, I love that shit, dude.
That was cool. I liked how, like, it's been 60 years and, they're advanced, you know? They're not, like,
Yeah.
living like, like, they have strawberries now.
Right, and dude, like, I think that was the whole point. It was like Zion they even said, like, Zion was on its own matrix, like a matrix of war, like, constantly trying to destroy them, and it was just like, this is what they needed. They needed that symbiotic relationship with the machines, and then only could happen if Neo did what he did.
Mhm.
You know, we talked about this on our last podcast too, where it's like, we felt like Darth Vader, where it's like Darth Vader wasn't the one, but he gave birth to Luke Skywalker, who was the one. Were they implying that Trinity might be the one?
I think they were implying that together they are the one. Like,
Okay.
they're both halves to the puzzle, like, alone, they're good, but they're not enough, but, like, together, they are enough.
Not sure if
Which
I'm crazy about that idea because that's so far removed from the original trilogy.
it's a stretch. It's a stretch.
It's basically
Um
saying, like, actually, we all needed this because Trinity was just as important the whole time. It's like, really?
You know what I did want to see though is at the end when Trinity snapped out of it and like her husband formed into an agent. I wanted to see her fight her kids. I wanted to see like the little girl or the little boy's eyes like go matrix code and it was just like and she was just like beating the shit out of her kid.
That would have been pretty funny. Yeah. Well, you know what? You're just really quick. All the fighting scenes, they didn't have
I
that
know.
dance music. They're like,
I
damn,
liked it though. It was like
really?
new. It was intense in its own way. Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right. That would have been funny. Well, she also punches the shit out of Neil Patrick Harris at the end. She's like, "That's for bringing kids into it." It's like, well, they're not really kids, but
Yeah, they're like
sure,
fake kids.
like, sure.
I kind of wanted Neil Patrick Harris to be like super strong himself. And maybe like
Yeah,
she went to kick him and he just like fucked her leg up or something. And he was like, I don't think so.
yeah, yeah. Well, the first like 45 minutes of the movie are pretty different than anything else. I mean, it's Thomas Anderson looks in the mirror and we see Keanu Reeves, but I don't know if you notice every single time throughout the whole movie, anytime there's a reflection of him, he's old.
Yeah. It's
Um,
because I think Bug said like they changed how he looks so that if anyone tried to find him in the Matrix, he just looked like some like pirate, like an old
yeah.
pirate.
Right, and I thought that was a sick idea, and that other people see him a certain way, and he seemed like, I don't know, like, really depressed, like, he was trying to kill himself, and he didn't like the way the world was going, he didn't like that his invention is what it is now, and yeah.
Well, that's because he knew. I mean, he thought he was crazy because he's having all these flashbacks and visions, and Neil Patrick Harris is like convincing him. Like, it kind of sounds like he created this game and then kind of like went into psychosis because of it. Like, concept of the game was so whack that it kind of made him crazy, and now everyone's like, "Hey, you got to like reel it in a bit."
Yeah, and it's weird, but, like, why wasn't he in control of the company? It's like he had a younger boss than him.
I think Smith was supposed to be like the CEO, so they were like partners in a way. I don't,
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know.
yeah, but he's got all these, like, weird young hipster kinda kids working with him,
Dude,
and
those were the dude with like the smoker's voice was an agent. And I wanted to see because Bugs was like, those guys are all there to like keep you. Because if you notice, they did that cut scene where they had like 10 scenes in one song where each time they were sitting at the table talking about the new Matrix, it was literally the same convo. Like the Indian guy said the same thing, and then the like nerdy white guy said the same thing. Like, what if like the Matrix did this? And he was like, what if the Matrix did that? And it was the same tips that they were giving
hmm.
and like every day was the same. And I wanted his buddy who like went up to Trinity in the coffee store. He was an agent. I wanted to see him fight those guys.
Jude, right? The like the fatter guy.
Yeah, because Bugs told them like those are agents, but they don't look like typical agents, so that you don't
Right.
suspect them. I wanted to see them have a badass office fight.
Yeah, I know. That was the thing. I mean, there wasn't a lot of fighting in this one. I don't know. I was more paying attention to the dialogue than the actual action of this movie. I thought it was fine, but it wasn't what made me pay attention. I don't know.
No, it was like a mixture of combining all three and telling a different story, and then like 25% intense action. And I
Yeah.
was I was kind of thinking about it prior to the podcast, like my overall opinion on it, and I think this would be a really good gap into a new trilogy.
Yeah.
Like if they make two more, like, and this is technically the first one, but it's not really the first one, that would be great. And they
Mhm.
kind of tell the story about like, how they have to stop Smith, and maybe like Neo and Trinity work together with the Matrix to stop Smith. But if this is like a standalone fourth and they're just like, we're done after this, guys, wrap it up, like, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, because I mean, now it's I mean, it ends on such a high note. It's like, "Oh, sweet, Trinity and Neo are back together. They both are probably the strongest they've ever been. What's the future gonna be like now? Smith's not dead. Is Neil Patrick Harris dead? I don't think so. Is he?
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, like if they
Oh, there's so
if
much
they
not finished."
yeah, there's no way. If they open this book of like brand new possibilities and they're like, all right, that's it, like that'd be pretty upsetting.
Yeah, I think this is a nice direction for them to definitely do, I mean, probably another trilogy. Why not? It just depends on how this one does. And I don't really know what the critique of this movie would be unless it's like personal things. You're like, I don't like us, where like I don't like what they did with Morpheus. But some people might love that. But overall, as a movie, like for a sequel, it takes the franchise in a new direction. It gives you the characters that for the most part you knew and loved. Yeah.
Not
It
sure how I felt about Niobe.
really?
I get why she was like, we don't, everything's doing good for the human race. Like, let's not go and mess it up by, pissing off the Matrix. I get it,
Yeah.
but I don't know. She was just kind of like an old bitch. I don't know.
Oh my god. I mean, she's doing what she needed to do, you know?
Yeah.
She knows she could go about it differently. She didn't have to, like, yell at Bug and be like, "Listen to me, you stupid fuck. Like, you're never gonna fly out of here again." You could've been like, "Lay, what you did was cool, but not the way you did it." But yeah, she was, I don't know, realistic, I guess.
Also, did you? It said the kid was in this one.
Which kid?
His name is the kid. It's the one from the third one where
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about.
the
He
annoying kid?
The kid who's like, wow, Neil, like we're
Yeah.
supposed to be like best friends. It said he was in this one, but I didn't see him.
I didn't see him either.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. Um, the little girl Sati too, that's not the same actress.
I know. I looked it up, dude, and that would have been so cool if it was
I
her. I
know.
mean, who knows if she's even acting? I mean, I guess you could just click and find out on her IMDb page.
Yeah.
But it's been 20 years, so maybe she's not acting anymore. But that would have been so cool if it was her.
I know. I would have been really excited. We're like, wow, good for them. They actually really stuck to that. And yeah, that was an interesting idea too, I guess. That so Sati's parents designed what Neo went into. It seemed like a stretch, a little bit.
So yeah, I think if I remember correctly, she said he felt so bad that he created like these pods that would keep it sounded like the dad created these pods that would both benefit the Matrix and Neo, because the Matrix obviously wanted Neo dead, because why would they want the one who's supposed to destroy them to be alive? But he was like,
Mhm.
"Hey, I created this pod that will keep him alive because, he likes Neo, he feels bad, and it'll also benefit you because he powers like 10,000 humans worth of power."
Yeah, it just seems so like I don't know. Like how did Sati's parents know that Neo was gonna die the way he did? And then I don't know. It doesn't matter, but it was
He
a little.
essentially, like 20 years ago, he was like, not saying this is gonna happen, but if Neo dies, I created this special pod that would keep him alive.
And he's
And
like,
they're
"And why
like,
did you do this?" Like, "I feel bad because my daughter was bugging him for, like, 20 minutes in a subway station 20 years ago, and then he couldn't get on the train, which wasn't really my fault, but I feel really bad about it." It's like, "Okay."
Seems like a lot of work, but okay.
And it's like, "So we're gonna kill you and your wife now, but make sure that all of that knowledge you have is passed on to your daughter, and she escapes now." It's like, Okay, okay. It's a little bit of a stretch, but sure. I'm glad
Yeah,
Sati's back."
I mean, yeah, this movie had a lot of stretches. I wish it was done a little differently, but overall, I still really liked it, and I think people are reviewing it a little too harshly.
I think they're reviewing it too harshly without giving it time to sink in. Like, this movie literally came out 12 hours ago. So for there to be so many reviews like fuck this, it's like, dude, like give it 24 hours before you sit there and shit all over it. Like I'm confused still. I want to watch it like 2 or 3 more times.
Yeah, I feel like people were watching it, and the second they saw a different Morpheus, they like opened IMDb and they were like, "1 star, this is stupid. That's not Morpheus."
That's the
Like,
thing.
just
That's the thing. Like, dude, people are probably reviewing this movie as they're watching it. You can't like even right now, it's so fresh for us that like in 2 weeks I could have a totally different opinion on it, you know?
I
So,
mean, realistically, after I watch it again, I'll probably like it more. I'm not
yeah.
gonna like it less, but I still think it was good.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think it makes up for the third one. I like it about as much as the second one, you know?
Okay, so you do like it more than the third.
Yeah. Yeah, I do.
Okay, and actually, as we were recording this, the IMDb rating went down zero point 0.2 points.
Oh my god. What is the current IMDb review?
As of now, it's 6.4, which
That's
I
low.
think that's unfair.
Dude, people are fucking assholes. I'm sorry, but like, how many goddamn Marvel movies have to come out for people to finally wake up and say, "Hey, we need something different"? I know this is a sequel, reboot, whatever, but still, like, it's at least something goddamn different.
I will say though, I was laughing pretty hard because, especially the first half of the movie, like it goes back to what you said in the trilogy recap, where like you're like Keanu Reeves doesn't really do much acting in this, and like the first half, if you notice, 95% of what he said was like one word. He just
Oh,
said he like his sentence, like they'd be like Mr. Anderson, blah blah blah, and he'd be like, "Really?" That was it, dude.
this was I think the most acting he gave in any of the movies, I think.
He had like the Wachowskis were like, "Don't give him any fucking lines." Like,
I mean, because all he does is, yeah, he just makes like, you're right, one word to him. He's like, "I missed you. We
that's
don't know
it.
each other."
It's
No,
it, dude.
no.
I also liked how on his desk he had toys of Lawrence Fishburne and Trinity. Did you notice that?
No, I didn't.
Like the
So there.
camera was panning around his office while he was like writing code, and it was a Morpheus and Trinity toy on his desk.
Oh,
That was
okay.
cool.
Yeah, dude, this movie is very meta in that way. I mean, it's like everything that we know the audience knows, or everything we know the rest of the world knows, at least the Matrix or whatever.
Mhm.
But damn, yeah, I don't know. I feel there's more to talk about, but do you have any other thoughts?
I'm gonna give it. I don't know what I'm gonna give it numerically. I'll probably yeah,
What does that mean?
like a numbers rating. I don't know what I would give it numbers wise. I would
Okay.
probably give it halfway between the second and third. So
Yeah.
like I liked it half more than the third, but half less than the second. Not that the third one was bad. I thought this was a cool route that they went. They should have done a little bit of different things with Morpheus and Agent Smith.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the guy who portrayed Agent Smith, but like he should have maybe been like I said, a program that Agent Smith like somehow created with the remaining part of his code before he died. It shouldn't have been him.
Yeah, I liked your idea for Morpheus more than the movies.
Right? Dude, that would have been a perfect opening to the second one if he was just like mopping the floor and like he looked up at Neo, but he also somehow didn't age. I don't fucking know how it would have worked, but like that would have been cool.
Yeah, yeah. Well, who knows? I do hope they make another one. I will definitely see it. I think this was a good movie. I don't think it was amazing. I'm still a Dune guy at heart.
Nothing will beat the first one. It's
No,
the first one's just too good.
and it never will. And people just need to be okay with that. And just like, God, why do we live in such a society where like the first thing people want to do is just be like, fuck this. Like the first thing that anybody wants to do is say, fuck this. Everybody gets so excited when the trailer comes out. And then the second the movie comes out, they're like, fuck this fucking shit. No one's ever happy with anything. I just don't get it. Anyways. Sorry, getting on a tangent here. Well, we will not. This is the last episode of the year for us, but we will be back the following Friday, and we're going to start doing these every single Friday. So that's something new. So get ready for 2022 Fresh Film Fridays every Friday.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you, Justin. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Happy Matrix 4 Day.
Happy Matrix Resurrections, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening in, and we will see you guys on Monday with Black Christmas.
All right.